We had a big tide come through around May 19th, and you can see it was just over 8 feet. So if you all were here, so this is from May of this year. You can see we had just over an 8-foot tide in May of last year with another spring tide just under 7 feet. And then moving on to June of this year, and I know Stephen will reference this spring lunar cycle in some of his slides as it relates to Lake Timucua, but again, over 8 feet this past year and just over 7 feet, so 12 inches additional water from one year to the last. So this is why kind of sometimes it seems like these events catch us off guard because they aren't predictable, even though we see a king on the tide chart as a king tide for sunny day flooding. If we don't get a northeast wind, no one really notices that it was an event. And so trying to keep track of this data can be challenging because sometimes it's out of sight, out of mind. And so just to highlight our road management plan with Robinson Design Engineers, some of you may remember this map. This is kind of a great visual elevation of kind of the core community of the island. And as I was mentioning again, you can see my cursor around the Eagle Nest platform. Even though that is a road, it's actually an impoundment dike. It separates Lake Timucua from Old House Lagoon. And so historically, these two wetlands would not have been separated, but when we developed, not we as in the DeWeese Island community, but when DeWeese was developed, that dike was put in to allow travel around the island, but it then created two separate impoundments. The same up with one pipe. Again, that was just connecting a series of hummock islands, but that is one of our dike systems that acts as a roadway. And this is, I just threw in the 5-foot bathtub model, and so this is looking at if the water rose the way water rises when you fill up a bathtub. Now, those of you standing out on the island, you know that this is a 5-foot bathtub model, which equates to an 8-foot tide. And so you may be saying, well, you know, Old House Lagoon doesn't get that deep on an 8-foot tide, or you may see your house and know for a fact that water is not getting where it's highlighted. It has limitations because water will take some time to meander around, and the tidal prism may not allow that water to get there before it regresses. So it's really just looking at a complete and even rise across the landscape, and it's just really for planning purposes to help us better understand some potential more vulnerable lower elevations.